First of all, and this sounds so pragmatic, but it's got a lot of great parts in it. And that's the engine that makes plays get done. People will want to play those parts, and good people will want to play them. And that's the reason I'm in it, as opposed to simply saying, I really like this play. It's the reason I've taken the time to be in it several times, in the readings of it.
The party scene is actually a lot of fun. In that it starts out so jovial, and then it has that really abrupt kind of
The play plays. This play is beautifully written. This play is invested with very specific personal sense and passion. This play has not only beautiful language, but language that is speakable from a dramatic, in playing a scene. You either like a play, you either respond to a play or you don't. You don't ever respond to a play, or at least I don't, simply because it's about what it's about. You respond to the people, you respond to the language, you respond to the indefinable thing that is the evident personal passion of the playwright. Now, I could read a play that handled these matters from the Trojan War from more or less exactly the same perspective, and I wouldn't respond to it at all.
Knowing the theater scene, and I'm sure that you probably have a good sense of not just the New York or the Los Angeles theater scene, but, the regional theater.
Oh, yeah, I've done a lot of that.
You could see Dress of Fire as having a powerful impact regionally?
Oh, God, yes. Oh, yes. I think that Dress of Fire would have a big presence in regional theater. I thought it probably wouldn't take the form of like a tour, but I think a lot of different regional theaters would be anxious to do it. This play has its own power. Some plays that are written about those old Greek events, but are written in the modern day, are overwhelmed by the originals. But this play isn't. It has its own passion and its own power and its own kind of language. It's elevated, and so is the original elevated, but it's a different elevation.
This play is not just any other Greek tragedy.
That's right.
It's better or different.
Well, you can't say it's a better play than Euripides. I mean, I think that any playwright would be personally embarrassed to have that said. Those are great plays. This is another great play. This is another great play that has some of the same characters that some of those old great Greek plays have. But it has its own language, its own passion, its own personal power, personal on the part of the playwright. It doesn't look like a warmed over version of anything. It's got its own power going, its own power source. And that power source is Nina, the playwright. And you can feel that a person wrote this, not as an imitation of a play by Euripides, but as a whole other take. It's set in an ancient time. It leaves the audience to draw the parallels between that time and this. It doesn't say, there's no character that steps forward and says, and if we look at our country today, we see that it was just like it was then.
Would you say that you felt, or you would be able to have ascertained that it was a play written by a woman?
No. A really good play, you can't tell.
How much impact do you think art has over the evolution of us as a species?
Well, let's put it this way. There's been a series of tremendously powerful anti-war plays written for the last 2,500 years, of which this play is one. We're still at war. So all art can do is really record it. And it can stand as a testament against war. The characters are so alive in the writing and in the playing of the actors we have. You get insights that you haven't had before.